I think, if you apply my argument about the origin of capitalism, you can see it today in the BRICs. On the one hand, the BRICs are relatively rich, but they have initially not large internal markets, and therefore they have a surplus which is much bigger than the one which can be absorbed in the mechanism I describe as profit. And this allows the state, where there are people who for political reasons want to catch up, to participate. And this surplus, together with the fine-tuning of the economy by the market, is used for accelerating investment. The difference of the European way and the contradictions which they have is, as the whole process does not basically take its origin from expanding internal mass markets, they have a problem of development of employment. Those who go for exports have less a problem like China, because the exports are highly labor intensive in relation to other things. Those who, like Brazil or like Russia, have high rents because they are raw material rich. They create relatively rapidly high productive capacities because they can buy expensive technology from the world market, but they do not create in parallel automatically jobs, so their internal market develops less. Russia does not address the problem. Brazil addresses it by social measures, so it looks like a social democratic way of doing. India is between China and Brazil. China is basically was promoting exports. And the only successful case, in my view, actually is China, because the impact of the exports is so massive that at least in the eastern provinces of China you have labor shortage. And this labor shortage produces exactly the same structure as in Europe. That is, you have automatic creation of unions. Nobody allows them to make unions. They are just there, and the Chinese official union has to deal with them, and they cannot oppose because you cannot shoot on them just because they are there. Same thing in South Korea 30 years ago. The second problem is, today technology is no longer so easy to copy like in the 19th century. So some of these countries will not, by comparative advantage, automatically come up to the highest level of technology. Korea has done, Taiwan has done, but both of them have also had technology policies. Now, what means technology policy? That is that you support institutions, preferably private companies, in acquiring technology by learning, by training people who are able to copy what they see from others, etc. This you call actually in the literature national systems of innovation, and they are basically rent finance. Now comes back here to the argument that this is mechanisms where profit is important, but where rent is also important. And the right mixture will depend very much on the availability of rent and the mechanism of disciplines of the ruling group. In China, you have a strong political party which has a great national project of catching up with the United States. In Brazil, you have very strong conglomerates, oligarchs, capitalist oligarchs who try more or less to manipulate the state. In India, you have a still more complex situation, but in between the two. In Russia, you have to see what is said, the oligarchs. Putin is not able really to impose a coherent economic policy of a great power status liking, which I suppose he has like the Chinese. He has to compose with the oligarchs, at least to some extent. So these political structure have an impact because rent is important for achieving the project.